You guys know how I like to talk of the media manipulating and feeling as if it truly can control quote unquote black American culture? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to this article from the New York Times. Where did BIPOC come from? The acronym, which stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, is suddenly everywhere. Is it doing its job? Really? Because this is literally the first time I've ever seen this. It's like in life. But yeah, here they go again over at the NY. Like, yeah, we got a new, this is the new thing for you guys. Here's the new groove. Jesus Christ. A BIPOC Mother's March walk from the 3rd Police Precinct station to a memorial site for George Floyd in Minneapolis on June 14th. This is the new thing, huh? They realized they milked the hell out of Black Lives Matter and they needed something damn near exclusively for women. Guys, this is intersectionality at work for you. They keep having to make new things, damn it. This is so Oh, this is delicious. This is written by Sandra E. Garcia. Oh, okay, cool. Black Americans have been called by many names in the United States: African American, Negro, colored, and the unutterable slur that rhymes with bigger. In recent weeks, as protests against police brutality and racism have flooded the streets and social media, another more inclusive term has been ascribed to the population: BIPOC. Miss Garcia, is it? Yeah, not buying this bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Like, this is just another wing of they're breaking it off, man. This is like branding for the most part. You know how Coke has Sprite and other companies and brands underneath it. This is all this shit is. This is just the next brand. The acronym stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, though it is now ubiquitous in some corners of Twitter and Instagram. The earliest reference the New York Times could find on social media was a 2013 tweet. Let's click that. From who? From who? Shout out to Eric Grind Toronto. So, Grind Toronto, are you for real? Hashtag BIPOC. And then is it like a day? Wait, okay, so Brian Toronto with 27 subs celebrating sex positivity, the joys of safer consensual sex in a queer space for BIPOC. Jesus Christ. So this was them, I guess, putting in the work. This hasn't tweeted since 2014. And I guess this is them putting out the work. Like, oh yeah, I found something named BIPOC. It's like, really? Really? Yeah, they trash! Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so dumb. Like, this really is. As a phrase, people of color dates back centuries. It was first cited in the Oxford English Dictionary with the British spelling couleur in 1796 and is often abbreviated as POC. The other two letters for Black and Indigenous were included in the acronym to account for the erasure of Black people with darker skin and Native American people, according to Cynthia Frisbee, a professor of strategic communication at the Missouri School of Journalism. The Black and Indigenous was added to kind of make sure that it was inclusive, Miss Frisbee said. I think notice is Miss, right? This chick isn't married at all. I think the major purpose of that was for including voices that hadn't originally been heard that they wanted to include in the narrative. Darker skinned blacks and indigenous groups, so that they could make sure all of the skin shades are this is this colorism? Is this an argument for colorism? Oh my god. They want this crown so hard, and that's because of, sisters, quote unquote. All of my POC sisters. Yeah, you're being played like a fucking fiddle. Charmaine Nelson, an art history professor at McGill University, said that the history of Black and Indigenous people in Canada calls for distinction between them and other people of color. In some parts of Canada, mainly east of Toronto. So what does this got to do with America? That's my question. Indigenous people were colonized, but not enslaved, she said, unlike Africans who were subject to cattle slavery elsewhere. We understand that under colonialism, African and indigenous people had very different experiences, Dr. Nelson said. To conflate everything in one is to erase, which is the very nature of genocidal practice. Okay, so once again, this is reaching farther back than you really need to go. Like, it is what it is. We've gone far enough. How about just, nah, like, as far as what took place back then, all we can do as a people and as a society is move forward. Is like, it's so weird because you sit there and cry and complain about racism. Well, the answer is simple. Just don't be racist. And actually, you really can't bring it up in order to just like, it's nothing. The same thing. Same thing with the sexuality. But I think the sexuality angle of it is where they truly believe that like that where it truly gets lost, because if you're not bringing if it because that far more so than race is where there's like, nah, bruh. Like wait, this is something I don't have to know about you for the most part. uh, if the intention was to help spell it out, some aren't getting the message. On social media, many assume the term stood for bisexual people of color, which, or other read it as biopic. Yeah, because it's pretty close. The shorthand for biographical movie. The term has caused confusion, and there isn't universal agreement about what it means or whom it actually includes. But to most, the people of color includes Latinos and Asians. BIPOC. Yesterday, I don't know who Sam Sanders is. I was yesterday years old when I figured out that BIPOC does not mean bisexual person of color. And Jeff, I don't know who these people are. Every time I see BIPOC, I see biopic. That's very straightforward and to the point. Miss Frisbee said that the most significant part of the acronym was to include indigenous people. So, okay, they want. I mean, we getting a cut of these casinos or nah? I'm just saying, Jesus Christ. Like, all right, sure, but isn't that covered under color? Like, it's so just this stuff is so weak and frivolous and pointless. Let me tell you something. If a woman, that's why, like, particularly ladies, not to be disrespectful, I think we're done here because I'm not interested in all of this nonsense. It's like, once again, it's the New York Times, and like their whatever agenda it is, just making their grab for quote unquote black culture or black American culture, and the deal is that the cat's out the bag, man. As far as that's concerned, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, every man's an island, right? Every lady is pink on the inside. So thusly, fellas, do what's best for you, right? I mean, like, cause this is really womanly stuff. This is grievance studies just eating itself. And these people, honestly, the best way to snuff it out is by, just not even playing their game. Don't consider this a real thing. This is not a real thing. This is something some jackass came up with, like, for real. And it's a little aggravating, but at the same time, hey, they gonna do what they do in order to control who they can control. And it's just not gonna be us over here. So with that being said, we're gonna bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like to toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know what do you guys think in the comments. This is just another flex. Them trying to, like, New York Times, really Times, trying to just push their control, push their narratives, and make sure, hey, that victim thing, because no, it is like it's like all like chicks and stuff. Like, oh yeah, so diverse. It includes everybody. Yeah. Oh, where's Waldo? You gotta play Where's Waldo with the dudes. There you are, bros. All right, good job, fellas. Good job. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, okay? And until the next one.